How many different Kirby Puckett rookie cards do you think there are? 3? 4? Could it be more like 5, right? What if I told you there were no less than 107 distinct baseball cards and related that could be classified as Puckett's rookie cards? Well, I'd be lying for one thing, so I won't do that. Instead, I'll just say that there are a lot of different Kirby Puckett rookie cards running around out there, which seems right for a guy who spread smiles and fun everywhere he went in the game. Here then is a rundown of the first cards of the Minnesota Twins legend and Hall of Famer, all the Kirby Puckett rookie cards. 1984 Fleer Update Kirby Puckett, number U93. Nobody knew who Kirby Puckett was when he appeared in Fleer's first ever update set in the late fall of 1984. I mean, sure, his family and friends knew, and maybe a few folks in Minnesota, but at that point, Puckett was heading towards 25 years of age and had played a grand total of 128 games in the majors. Sure, he hit .296 in those games, but with very little power. And his 3 major league seasons looked pretty much the same: good average and speed, little power. So Puckett got lost in the shuffle of Dwight Gooden and Roger Clemens and a few others in the 1984 Fleer update set until roughly the midway point of the 1986 season. That's when he pushed his average well over 300 and made his first All-Star team. Also finished the season with 31 dingers. From there, it was more gaudy hit totals, good power, World Series titles, and legend making. And predictably, collectors flocked to his first Puckett card and turned it into a hobby icon. 1984 7-11 Twins Kirby Puckett, number 1. This is one of those very regional team sets from the 1980s that just screams, well, it screams the 1980s, and fire prevention, and Minnesota Twins, and Kirby Puckett. This thing was issued before the Fleer update, so by all rights, it's his very first Puckett card, featuring the spark plug in a major league uniform. And just what did Puckett do to land card number 1 in this 13-card issue, 12 players and a checklist? Hard to say, but maybe they started with the shortest guy on the team and worked their way up, or started with the rookies and went from there. Or maybe it was Puckett's award-winning smile. Personally, I think it's because he was built like a fullback and wore number 34. There might have just been some Walter Payton fans hiding out there in the Minnesota summers back then. 1985 All-Star Game Program Insert Kirby Puckett. So you might have noticed that I mentioned that Puckett made his first All-Star cut in 1986. What the heck was he doing in the All-Star program in 1985 then? Well, those fold-out, paper not really card things included All-Star nominees, not just the dudes who actually made the team. And Puckett was starting to look pretty good out there in center field for the Twins, as well as playing every day, racking up at-bats and hits, and banging out triples and stealing a few bases. Good enough to get on the ballot and on this poster like doohickey. The pucks you find as singles were hand-cut, so your quality will vary depending on the sureness of the hand you were dealt. Cool card, though, especially when you consider the game was played at Puckett's hometown, Metrodome. 1985 Donruss Kirby Puckett, number 438. Now we're getting into the goods. I mean, nobody had that 7-11 card, and only a few kids had the Fleer Update Puckett, and there was no way in the Metrodome they were busting up their seats to trade Puckett to you. But in 1985, you could finally, pull a Kirby Puckett rookie card from Wax Packs. And this black-bordered beauty from Donruss quickly became the cream of the crop in 1986. Riding high on the scarce and revamped image of the beloved 1984 Donruss set, the 85 issue was popular right from the get-go, and tougher to find than Fleer or Topps. So when Puckett broke out in 1986, it felt like you hit the lottery if you were able to go back to your common stacks, you didn't have enough for a bin, of 1985 Donruss and pull a Puck Rook. All these years later, it's still a great card, displaying awesome colors and a young Puckett with his best seasons ahead of him, even if he does look slightly suspicious of your intentions. 1985 Fleer Kirby Puckett, number 286. Puckett doesn't look all that happy on his 1985 Fleer rookie card either. Certainly not the jovial dude we'd all come to know and love a few years later. He's not really dubious like on his Donruss card, more like a deer in the headlights expression. Maybe he was having visions of facing Randy Johnson somewhere down the line. Anyway, this one generally slotted between the more common Topps and the less common Donruss back in the day, as the kids say. But those value differences have attenuated to a large degree here in this modern, sophisticated world of ours. Whatever, you still have to have 1985 Fleer if you want to get all the Kirby rookies. 1985 Fleer Star Stickers, Kirby Puckett, number 122. In 1981, Fleer treated collectors to a set of star stickers that were card-sized, and card backs were complete with statistics, looked better than the base Fleer set, and yet they were stickers. In 1986, they offered up the same sort of eye candy. In between, paper stamp sticker things in 82 and 1983, followed by tiny star stickers on cardstock in 1984 and 1985. That's where Puckett comes in, with the stickers as diminutive as the superstar himself and a patriotic color scheme that Fleer would revive in their base set in 1988. No great shakes, but another Puckett card thing. 1985 Leaf Kirby Puckett, number 107. Just like the Donruss card, except with a little nifty leaf on the card front and French words on the back. The Donruss equivalent of O-Pee-Chee. Leaf was a 264 card parallel of a subsection of the main set, this one intended for the Canadian market. In addition to the nearly identical carryovers from the American version, the Leaf set also offered up 2 Canadian Greats Paintings cards of Tim Raines and Dave Steeb. For his part, Puck looks as suspicious as ever on his Leaf rookie card, maybe because he knows about the smaller print run and the trouble he'll have finding his own rookie. 1985 Minnesota Twins postcard, Kirby Puckett. This team-issued set features 33 Twin players, each in full-color oversized postcard glory, now with All-Star Game logo. Besides Puckett, this set includes the likes of Tom Brunowski, Frank Viola, Ron Washington, Tom Kelly, and even Tony Olivia. And it finishes up at number 33 with the always uncomfortable question of rich yet? As for Kirby, he looks good in Twins white, posed batting in front of some empty stadium seats. 1985 Minnesota Twins team issue Kirby Puckett, number 24. Another team issue. This one is the standard baseball card size, 2.5 by 3.5, rather than the postcard size. Like the postcards, though, this issue features really nice photography and the 1985 All-Star Game logo. It also adds on a little cartoon jersey with the player's number in the lower right-hand corner of the card fronts. Young Kirby is shown kneeling with a bat, still not smiling, still a bit in the headlights. Great-looking card all around, though. 1985 O-Pee-Chee Kirby Puckett, number 10. This looks like the iconic Topps Puckett rookie cards you're used to. Young Kirby dug in at the plate, mouth hanging open, intense focus on the pitcher. Waiting to pounce, waiting to become a legend. And then you notice the honking yellow box in the upper left-hand corner and the text inside, O-Pee-Chee. You might notice that the creamier, nicer cardstock too, and surely the French words here and there on the card back, and the different card number. And then you realize you're looking at the Canadian version of the Puck's top rookie card, and you remember yet another reason why you love the hobby and the card that came from the 1980s. 1985 Topps Kirby Puckett, number 536. This may be the most classic of all Kirby Puckett rookie cards, depending on your memories and preferences. It definitely seemed to be the easiest to come by once we started digging through all those backstacks after Puckett ascended to superstardom, and it features the game's best action of any Puckett rookie card from the Big Three. And while the value of this Topps card has lagged behind its Fleer and Donruss counterparts for most of the last few decades, you might find that you have a PSA 10 copy of this beauty, and it demands a higher price than any of the others these days. Regardless, it's a great iconic card of a great iconic player. 1985 Topps sticker with Gary Maddox, Kirby Puckett, number 121. Want a gander at 2 of the most beloved center fielders of the last 50 years? Well, look no further than this 1985 Topps sticker. See, before Kirby Puckett ever laced up his professional spikes, 2/3 of the earth was covered by water, with Gary Maddox taking up the slack. And then when Puckett came along, he started winning gold gloves too, and added all that offensive spark and Kirby exuberance that only Kirby could bring. Puckett may not have been quite the wizard that Maddox was in center field, but both were astonishing in their talents, and the combo makes this one of the more underrated items on our list. And as an added bonus, you can find an O-Pee-Chee version that is virtually identical to this one. 1985 Topps sticker Kirby Puckett, number 376. This sticker from the same set as the Kirby/Gary entry previously features Puckett alone. which means the image is almost big enough to actually be able to discern who it is. Just kidding, mostly. While these two player stickers are pretty tiny, the photography is generally crisp, bright, and clear. In any case, this Puckett Ricky sticker shows the youngster wrapped in red, white, and blue all-star borders. How festive. And like the two-man entry previously, there's an O-Pee-Chee version. Bonus. Like our video? Then like our videos and subscribe to our channel. WaxPackGods.com